Good evening. Just going to read some Christmas poems and just lit me a candle so I can get in that Christmas mood. This first poem I'm going to read is from Lucinda Hill. And I first met Lucinda Hill on an online prayer group of Upper Room Daily Devotions. And it was several asking for prayer, and she would post her poems there. And that's where I first met Lucinda Hill. And I just automatically fell in love with her poetry. She used to send cards for the nursing home residents. One year she sent some cards and bookmarks. Very, very humble person. And I love her poetry. I love her poems that she writes. Like I said, it comes from the heart. You can tell if a poem comes from the heart or not. And this poem that I'm going to read is entitled The Perfect Gift. It's that time of year when gifts, they are given to those who we love near and far. I plan and I search for the most perfect gifts that are given from the heart. I could give you a big box. I could give you a small one, or could give you no box at all, because nothing could show you the love that I'm feeling except sharing the gift of our God. Before you unwrap the gifts you're receiving, think for a moment or two, what a wonderful gift, the first gift that was given, the birth of a Savior for you. Jesus' love is faithful. His love is unending. His love, he gives it to all. Just call on his name and give him your heart, and you'll have the best gift of all. That's Lucinda Hill. And she's the author of Coffee with Jesus and A Second Cup of Coffee with Jesus. And she also wrote a children's book as well. This poem here is by Bufford, and I've known him practically my whole life. I was raised up with him in church, and he authors the book entitled Alpenglow. And I had no clue what the Alpenglow was until I read the book. And so, you learn a whole lot by reading, and I encourage anybody, pick out a good book out of the bookshelf and just read. Sit down and read. I can be reading a book and somebody come up and speak to me, and I'm jumping, because I'm so into that certain book that I'm reading. But anyway, Bufford's book Alpenglow was one of those books. Very, very good poetry book. If you need a Christmas present, go buy Reed Spotted Newt. They should have them there. And get you a copy of Alpenglow and give to someone in your family. Give the gift of poetry. Give the gift of a local author. But here he writes about a poem. The poem is entitled Three on a Tree. Let me put my specs on where I can see just a little bit. But Three on a Tree. And he writes about this poem. He writes a little bit. How many remember Christmas in Hyman in the 70s and 80s? Here's another poem I hope you enjoy. Hyman would be decorated, and we would stop there and meet so many great people in our little hometown. Love seeing the town decorated now, and events in the county is doing for Christmas. Great memories of friends and family back then. So here's the poem he wrote about that. Three on a Tree. Simple times in Hyman in the 70s. Streets buzzing near Buster's in downtown. Children and parents at the Five and Dime. Enter a store with music in the background. I hold my first record admiring the device. Old record players scattered on the shelf. My father smiles as he says, "Good choice." My first record that I ever bought myself. Next to Francis Family Drug, to shop more, vintage comics lined up on a metal rack. I stand for hours searching and so eager, heroes coming alive from front to back. I feel and smell of fresh ink on the pages. We purchase some homemade candy goods and walk back. People are smiling and talking. Snow covers the bridge and several car hoods. Sidewalks covered in snow, I closely followed my parents' footsteps back under dim light. Another mountain Christmas in our town, leaving in 3 on a tree that winter night. Mother and father in the leather front seats, sister, brother, and myself seated in the rear. Snow blowing outside on the journey home. Simple music playing on the radio to my ear. Brother Bufford Hall, and he is the author of Alpenglow. It's a very good book of poetry. If you've not got a Christmas present yet, I would encourage you to go to Read Spotted Newt and buy and have them get that book for you, okay? For a good Christmas present to give to somebody. Same way with Lucinda Berry Hill's books, Cup of Coffee, a second cup of coffee with Jesus. Same way with them. Look her up on Facebook. She's got a link where you can get her books. And here's another poem by Brother Bufford Hall. And he writes about this. Remember, Christmas is about Christ, not about Santa and all the other things that tried to take the place of Christ. It's all about Him, family, and making memories that last. It isn't about the gifts, but about His love to be born for everyone on earth. As Christmas approaches, focus on Him and His birth. Find you a church and celebrate the true meaning of Christmas, not just in December, but all year long. Hope this poem blesses you of a Christmas we had many years ago. Great memories. And this one is another one by Brother Bufford Hall, author of Alpenglow. Snowing outside, the kids and parents all snug around the coal stove, sitting together on a woven rug. My dad had been laid off from the mines for a while, yet he looks at his family with love and a smile. Under the evergreen tree, a few presents are there, different from the year before, where work was good everywhere. On this Christmas Eve, he sits the kids all down. Mom comes in from the kitchen as they gather all around. Christmas will be different this year as we open gifts in a bit. We did our best we could as he hugged the kids as they sat. It's time to open presents, which the children done. No electronics or fancy toys, or cars or dolls that were battery run. The oldest child stares, holding his hand wood toys, as the other children did, made for the girl and the boys. The toys were made with care, better than store-made. Of the kids open the rest, all made with love. All the presents were unwrapped. They played on the floor, enjoying the season, ate dinner, then played some more. The children learned that day it's not what is under the tree that is lit that matters on Christmas, but all about those around it. Food made by Mother, peanut butter candy made by Dad, wooden toys that are meant more than any purchased toys that I'd ever found. A family of 5 close-knit, learned a real Christmas that day. The true meaning of Christmas is about Jesus on this blessed day. Standing above them all was a tree shining bright, as Jesus was in that house and throughout that blessed night. And that is by Brother Bufford Hall, author of Alpenglow. And now we're going to read the fourth poem of the night and the last poem of the night. And I may read a little bit more on another night right before Christmas, but this is another one. And this is by David Chaltas. David Chaltas. I met David Chaltas at the Vico Worship Center when he came in, and I knew he looked familiar when I first seen him, and I couldn't replace him nowhere, you know. But I knew he looked familiar, and I wondered, how do I know him? Well, I finally found out how I knew him. And he was at a Civil War reenactment many years ago that I took some students to. And he was playing the part of General Lee. And I didn't realize it then, but he had several books out. He has several books out. And I did one of his books on my YouTube page a few months back ago, so you can go back and look at that. But he wrote a poem, and I'm going to read it. It's called Even the Animals Bow, okay? The star beckoned all to come on that majestic, magical night. The archangels began to hum as doves took off in flight. The sheep were called with the lambs to witness a newborn son. For unto man, the great I Am's journey has just begun. The donkey knew as he bowed close to the baby's side. It was written in the clouds that upon his back he'd ride. The cattle huddled around the scene, gazing upon the manger. His mother appeared as a queen, as she welcomed strangers. The camels bowed to honor him who came to honor all. They worshiped and honored him as they heard the baby's call. Rulers of Orient came, bearing gifts for a king. 3 wise men with hearts of flame fell down worshiping. Shepherds saw the star that night, shining down upon the fields, its radiance so yellowish white that they felt compelled to kneel. The baby smiled, and all was well. His story is forever told. Within the child his father dwelled, and his promises still unfold. Copyrighted by David Chaltas, 2017. God bless you all, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas. It's all about Jesus, for he is the reason for the season.